I'm so excited to be doing this video as Beaute Bar is coming out with a new collection, and it's a collab with Noopur, which I'm so happy that they're doing a collab together. She's an absolute gem in this community, and if you don't follow her yet, you absolutely have to. I will link all her socials in the description box. She does some really great content, especially with indie brands. So she does really great in-depth videos on her YouTube channel, which she started just this year, and I'm so happy to see her thriving. And she's one of the kindest people I have met on social media. We haven't met in person yet, but hopefully someday we can do that. So huge congratulations on this. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. I did receive the palette and the singles in PR, so thank you so much for sending it over to me. And there's no way for me to be unbiased, as I love Noopur, I love her content, I love her as a human being, and also I did work on the packaging for the collection, which I feel so honored that she entrusted me with the vision for the concept she had in mind. So without further ado, let's finally take a look at everything. So let's first talk about the eyeshadow palette. It is the Coalescence eyeshadow palette. I definitely check out her reveal video because she goes into depth about why she chose which color and what's its purpose, and also she talks about her shade cascade, where she likes to layer different shimmers over each other. Especially she likes to put down like a satin shade and then layer something more sparkly over it, and it just creates really beautiful, stunning combinations. I love hearing behind the scenes of her thought process on creating this palette. Beautiful color story. We have lots of deepening up shades, some mid-tone mattes as well, and I feel like there's a lot of different looks you could create with this palette, not just monochromatic but some more neutral looks as well. It's very well thought out and it's very obvious. So let's talk about this 4 single shadows. They're also part of this collection. There are basically 2 spicy neutrals and then 2 more colorful shades, and wait till you see the swatches of these, especially these 2 shades. They are so punchy and so beautiful and so vibrant. So let's get into the detailed swatches of the shimmer shadows and then the 2 looks, and then I'll give you some my thoughts at the end of the video. Swatching the singles first. So this is Refraction. Looks like it's got hollow and then crystallize. Somewhat similar texture. I would say Refraction is a little bit more of a finer pigment, and you could definitely sheer this one out. Super beautiful warm brown base with a silvery reflect to it. This one picks up a little bit more opaque, but this one has a warm reddish brown base with a green reflect. And I see a shift, and I see it shifting to blue to purple. It's got silvery reflex with hollow particle as well. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like a space cowboy from Urban Decay because of the way that the sparkles are kind of sitting on top of the base. And crystallized does feel a little bit more slicker to the touch. And then here they are close up. Next 2 shades are Radioactive and Aurora. Oh my gosh, these are so beautiful. These definitely feel like they have a little bit more slickness to them as well. More, I would say, than the previous 2 shades, quite a bit more. Even I can tell like it's got a little bit of pastiness when I'm kind of swatching them. Oh my gosh, this one is so vibrant. It is unreal. This one is gonna look so cool. There's so much going on. It's got a pink base with a greenish blue aqua reflect to it. It is super interesting. And this one has a lime green base with a fiery orange reflect to it. I feel like my camera's not even wanting to capture it because it is so vibrant. Very excited to use these on the lid. And I do see kind of like an in-between light yellow green in there, and then a shift to ultraviolet. And then the top shade shifts to a yellow green. And then close up. First 2 shades I'm swatching from the Coalescence palette are Harmony and Agni. The reason is that I wanted to swatch kind of similar textures together. So these definitely are a little bit flakier. It actually seems like Agni is a little bit flakier, and it also feels pretty squishy in the pan. So here is Harmony. It is so beautiful. I feel like my camera is just not capturing the color. It is literally so glowy and beautiful. And then Agni, this is what it looks like, kind of one layer. It does have hollow in it. And then here's a second layer, even more intensified, slightly peachy. This one's very pinky, straight on. And then the top shade is like a cooler tone purple, but it shifts to a pinky purple or like an ultraviolet. Agni. It does shift to a yellow gold, slightly leaning green at a really harsh angle. Next 2 shades are Balance and Dissonance. And these also have a slightly flakier size. I would say Balance definitely a little bit less so, and it's a little bit more of like a almost piecier texture. But Dissonance has like the same size particle as Harmony, and it does feel squishy in the pan. Balance has a purple shift, but it also has different color sparkles throughout it. It's predominantly green with purpley pink sparkles. It does have a little bit of like a base slash kind of cast to it, like seen kind of on an angle here. And I see like a light teal aqua straight on. And then Dissonance has an orange reflect straight on with a little bit of a base there. I'm not sure how to describe it. It's like ever so slightly a little bit olive tone green. And I also see silvery sparkles throughout it. Next two shades are Flora and Fauna, and these both have a really fine particle size, and as you can see, Flora is a little bit more shiny and Fauna is a satin. Oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. It is so metallic, and neither of these feel squishy. They feel like a regular shimmer shadow. Oh, these are so beautiful, especially for layering. Fauna is a mid-tone, warm tone brown. I feel like it has a little bit of a lighter reflect to it versus in its base. And then Flora is almost got a little bit of pinkiness to it, so it's like a pinky brown with a lighter, much brighter reflect. And then the last shade is Jal, and this is a really, really interesting blue. It is very dimensional. It's got silvery flecks throughout it, very smooth and very impactful. I feel like I see some violet in there as well. It is so interesting, and silver flecks throughout it. It has almost ever so slightly like a grayish darker base to it. This is such a beautiful shade. It's very vibrant. For the first look, I prime with the Ulta Beauty eyeshadow primer, and I'm going to be going in with Aries on the outer corner with the Makeup Shack T63 brush. And I'm first just going to be kind of putting it down, but also blending it, but just ever so slightly, because I'm going to wipe off this brush the best I can, and I'm going to take Dawn, and I'm just going to put that on the edges and use that to blend it out, and then bring it underneath my lower lash line and just keep blending outwards, going back in with a little bit more out here. And then I'm going to go back in with Aries, just kind of tapping it down, re-intensifying and connecting my lower lash line. And look at that, Beaute Bar mattes are so good. Next, I'm taking Dusk. I'm going to bring that right next to Aries, right on the inner crease, kind of going in, bringing it inwards. A clean-ish brush with some setting powder that is my skin tone, and just going over the edges and just kind of blending everything out more, just really smoothing the edges. Picked up Balance on the Refer 28 brush, and I'm going to mist it with the Carla Cosmetics Mist Potion, just like a one spritz, and I'm going to pop that on the inner lid and kind of swipe it up into my crease. Ooh, oh my gosh, I love the multicolored sparkles throughout this shade. And then picking up Harmony, just one spritz and putting that on the lid. These both have just a slightly flakier texture to them, but they picked up really nicely on this slightly toothier brush. And so far no fallout. Definitely think misting it helped with that a lot. Here's the first finished look. The second look, I'm going to create kind of like a more dramatic wing using Decay, and I'm going to start it off underneath my lower lash line and then draw it up at an angle, and then I'm just going to start filling it downwards onto my outer corner and then up. I'm just kind of swiping it inwards, so it's going to blend itself essentially on there. And then here I want to make sure that it kind of lands. If I relax my eye, see how my hood is right here, I'm just going to start drawing it on here, and then I'm going to use that as a guide to finish off the wing, going back in with a little bit more on my brush, and I'm just going to kind of re-intensify it, and so that way when I open my eye you can still see the wing. It doesn't get kind of covered by my hood. And then it kind of can sometimes just look a little strange and make my eye shape look a little off. And then I'm picking up Chaos, and I'm going to blend that kind of in the center of my lid, my crease. And then I'm going to be blending it into the wing just a little bit. And then kind of blending it up. And then I think on the inner crease, I want to go in with Sprout. I'm just going to use the same brush. It's a really nice pop of color. I'm going to go back in with just a little bit more Chaos. Next, I picked up Fauna, and I'm missing my brush, and I'm using a larger flat shading brush, and I'm going to put that all over my lid because I want to do a little bit of a shade cascade over it. So it's going to go right on top of everything, but I'm not quite blending it up into the crease. I'm leaving it on my mobile lid, and then of course making sure it's kind of blended out here into the dark green. And then I think I'm just gonna use my finger, and I'm taking Dissonance, so pretty, and I'm just gonna tap it over where I put that shade down, but I'm gonna go up into my crease just a little bit, but I literally use the tiniest bit, which is why I like use my finger for this, because I can really control just how much I go in with. I mean, look at that. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. That is so fun. There's a bunch of different multicolored flecks throughout that shade. Oh, I love it. I feel like it looks very earthy, but like spicy earthy. And here's the second finished look. Could easily do 10 more looks with this palette. I feel like it's so versatile. Really enjoying the color story so far with these 2 looks. Really easy to use. If you're familiar with Bella Beaute Bar formulas, shimmers, and mattes, this is definitely right on par with all the palettes that I've tried for them. So all the mattes in here really serve a purpose, whether you want to do a really easy look with just throwing a matte in the crease and putting a shimmer on the lid, or if you want to deepen out the outer corner. So I love that you can do a little bit of both, and I really enjoy the level of depth that's in this palette. And I like that they don't go too pastel, because sometimes if there's no in between, it can be a little bit harder to blend out a super deep matte with like a more pastel when you want that transition. And I think the color story of course fits the theme very much. So you have the fire, earth, water, and wind, and they're all represented by color here, and the shimmers are so beautiful. I love that we have different finishes, different textures. So we have the satin shade, we have a more smoother metallic, but then we also have the sparkly shades, the slightly flakier shades that have just a little bit more extra shine. We also have different levels of bases in those shimmers, which makes the shimmers really versatile because you can layer them on top of each other, which was the intention. Definitely check out Noopur's video because she layered all the shimmers over Fauna, and it was so interesting to see how they transform and how you can get like a different vibe out of them. A couple of the shades are squishier, and they always tend to be the flakier shades, specifically for Bella Beaute Bar, especially Agni, so I'll probably have to use a tissue to take out any extra binder before I use it anywhere kind of towards my crease, because I can definitely see these creasing on me personally because I have hooded oily lids. So, and the Dissonance as well is a little bit more squishy. Moving on to the single shadows, I did put them in a Cryptine empty acrylic palette. These are so fun and a great addition to the palette. Like you can really easily pair these with the palette, and I love the idea behind having 2 kind of spicy neutrals and then 2 more vibrant shades. These are so beautiful, and you can see from the detail swatches, I mean, Aurora and Radioactive are just like another level of super glowy, vibrant, and shifty. They are a little bit more on the emollient side, so again, I will press a tissue into them just to remove any extra binder, but they will probably crease on me if I put them kind of too much into my lid onto the crease. Even if I put something on my lid, it will usually probably end up on my hood anyway. So I do have to be a little bit strategic in the placement for my lids personally. But not everyone has creasing issues with these kinds of shades. It really depends on your lids. Are they oily? Are they hooded? Are they deep set, etc.? I plan on featuring these on the lids in some reels, so stay tuned for that. And again, huge congratulations to Noopur and Bella Beaute Bar on this beautiful collaboration. It is so well deserved, and I hope to see a part 2 collab as well in the future. So let me know in the comments below if you plan on picking anything up from this collection, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you like this kind of content, I will have some of my other videos up on the screen for you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.